Good morning. How's everybody this morning? It's a real pleasure to kick off the day. We're going to be focusing on lipids and atherosclerosis. Lipids and atherosclerosis. How should the prevention of diabetes be defined?
We got to start treating early.
Treat them to somehow raise their HDLs, that we might have ways to reduce cardiovascular risk. And of course, we're still striving for optimal ways. It's a high-fat diet. Dietary fat raises HDL. We all know that people who go on a low-fat diet often experience a decrease in their HDL. So, when I presented, we're often left with the question, should I engage in additional pharmacologic therapy to try to raise this patient's
But following that rule of having to make a change every month and adding more medications, which may have led to the problem.
Childhood girls who had risk factor for metabolic syndrome and overweight, and when they used metformin 5 years before puberty, the onset of puberty, they found differences in adiponectin levels, leptin levels, insulin levels, and visceral obesity by CAT scanning. And when the girls were started later at puberty, there was not that benefit. So there's some preliminary epidemiologic data intervening with metformin before puberty that it does change visceral fat and other certain endocrine biomarkers.
And the time there's general or widespread applicability of that evidence in how we practice is about 15 years.
Oh my goodness, that's very disheartening, because sometimes I feel like the insurance
That's to allow everything to become generic.
Well, no, it is precisely because there are layers. There are these systems barriers, in addition to the things that we have to deal with providers, and then finally getting patient acceptance. And the reality is that while hopefully it won't take 15 years for everything, it just means that we have to really overcome a lot of barriers and hurdles. And when there's money at stake, and when people are pushing back because it's going to affect their bottom line, that's a fact that we have to do. That's why public will, advocacy, and all of those kinds of elements are going to have to be part of driving the changes that we know we have some evidence to.